Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity. Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity.
Hey there, it's Bree Bear, and today's video is going to be my stats for 2020. I'm excited. I love looking at my stats every time. So interesting to see and take a look at what happened over the course of the year for my reading. I try not to look at the charts and the numbers and things throughout the year. I just kind of want to see the results. And then other times I do want to try to track my progress in a certain area if I'm trying to reach a goal. But honestly, this year I didn't really have that kind of thing. It was just kind of read the books and try to get some videos in there. So we're gonna go with it. I apologize for the lighting continuously changing today. So I don't really know what I'm getting into for these stats. I'm gonna see what I can pull up on my phone because I don't want to have to carry or hold my computer the entire time and look at my computer for every stat. So hopefully I can pull this off my phone for some of them. So we'll try that and see what happens. So the spreadsheet that I use will be linked down below. In the spreadsheet, there's a lot of different areas for you, or different sheets that you put information into. I think that, there are some areas where my spreadsheet, I made mistakes at some point, so it's not in 100% accurate, so we're gonna ignore that. So starting the year, my reading goal was to read 80 books. That breaks it down for you to be 7 books per month. My TBR pile start of the year was 501 books, and that does include digital books as well. So it sounds like an insane amount, but a lot of them are digital books that I got for either free or between $0 and $2. So a lot of them are really cheap. And this is books that I own that I have yet to read, not books that I want to read. That's a whole nother story. Or not books that I want to read that I don't own. Does that make sense? Okay, I did not set a monthly budget or anything like that, and I do not have a library card fee. I did have Audible subscription for $14.95 per month. I had Audible Escape for $6.95 per month, so that put my subscription budget to $21.90 per month. And it will do the math for you and all of that. So then you put categories. We're not going to really need that. Acquisitions, we kind of already went through everything that's there. Book survey, DNF. I don't use the DNF sheet personally. Short story tracker, didn't use that personally. I don't know why this is here. There's numbers there. Weird. Can I delete it, or is this just an example? I don't know. Alright, so then it gives you a Gantt chart. So this time around I did use the series tracking page to kind of start keeping up with how I was going on the different series that I've started or planned to start at some point. It's not 100% accurate or kept up to date or anything, but it helped me to keep an eye on things, and I think I'm going to continue that next year because I think it's very helpful for me to keep an eye on things with especially doing this reading challenge. I want to try to get series completed and not just focus on whatever book I think of off the top of my head. I want to try to focus on, can I fit this sequel in here somewhere? Can I fit this third book in here somewhere, so that I can continue to pull those elements into my reading life and continue to close out series so that I can start new ones and not have 50 million series going on at once. So there's that. I also did use the new releases page. The books that I did buy were mostly backlist books. Most of these are just still waiting, and it's not even fully encompassing to every single book that I'm interested in for the year. It was just some of them. Now let's get into numbers. Starting out, we have the 2020 reading statistics. Again, my reading goal for the year, 80 books. Per month goal, 7. And TBR year start is 501. TBR increase was 180 books. My TBR read, books that I read from my TBR shelf, was a total of 80 books. So like I read a total of 80 books, and all of them were like from my TBR. It's hard to explain. I did not DNF any books. So basically my TBR remaining number is 601 books. So I only increased my TBR by 100 books in total, which is not bad. My total page count for the year, 21,965. Average pages per month is 1,830. Alright, average number of pages per day through the months. On average, I read 77 pages per day in January, and then it like goes through all of them. So the slowest month for me was November. My average pages per day was 12 pages, and days per book was 30. I think the highest that I got this year was 89, average of 89 pages per day, which like go me. And average number of days per book, I think the lowest was 3 days per book, which is not bad. Pages per day average for the whole year was about 60 pages every day, and about 5 days per book on average. The longest book I read this year was Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare at 701 pages. The shortest book I read was 27 pages, and it was 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So we have our genre breakdown. I read 4 poetry books, 9 nonfiction, 15 fantasy, 19 contemporary, 3 sci-fi, 2 paranormal romance, 5 classics, 4 dystopians, 4 thrillers, 2 historical romance, 2 mystery, 3 horror, 1 cozy mystery, 1 memoir, 1 edited journal, 5 magical realism, which is not bad. Genre by page count rather than genre by number of books. So this is an interesting comparison to make. So in genre by books, contemporary is ahead by is at 24%, and fantasy is at 19%. In page count, contemporary is at 26%, fantasy is at 22%. So very interesting to take a look at that, specifically between those two, because those are 2 of my most read genres, and fantasy books tend to be longer, so I always wonder how close they're going to be in those numbers right there. 65 of my books were first-time reads, 15 were rereads. Books per month, I read 7 books in January, 8 in February, 11 in March, 4 in April, 4 in May, 9 in June, 8 in July, 7 in August, 4 in September, 7 in October, 1 in November, and 10 in December. Yeah. Pages per month is always an interesting comparison to make between the number of books per month and the number of pages per month, to kind of see. Year published. I read 2 books that were published before the 1920s. One that was published in the 1950s, 1 in the 60s, 3 in the 80s, 1 in the 90s, 5 in the 2000s, 3 from 2010, 1 from 2011, 3 from 2012, 2 from 2013, 2 from 2014, 2 from 2015, 10 from 2016, 7 from 2017, 11 from 2018, 8 from 2019, and 18 from 2020. Books that I read because I narrated the audiobook, 11. As far as series go, this isn't entirely up to date, but I have at least started 8 series. I have 4 that I'm in an ongoing state where I've continued the series. I have 8 series that I've completed. 20 books were series books, and 58 books were standalones. from what I read, which isn't bad. I think I want it to be a little bit more even though. I want it to be more about half and half, simply for the fact that I have so many series that I want to read. Publisher wise, my heaviest publishers are Penguin Random House at 16%, HarperCollins at 16%. I'm surprised that those are even. I would have thought that I had read more of one or the other. Pretty happy with the fact that 8% was indie, but I owe some of that and some of these other random LTD ones and stuff like that. Those are audiobook narration situations. Scholastic Press and indie are kind of even there. Simon & Schuster is only 6%, which is interesting. Hachette at 9%. So kind of an interesting mixture of physical and digital. 73% of my reading was physical and 28% was digital, which is not bad considering the fact that I am terrible about reading things digitally that I've acquired. So I'm going to let it pass, but I want to do better because I am acquiring too many digital books. Average length, this is fun. So average length, less than 100 pages, 12 books. Between 100 and 199, 16 books. Between 200 and 299, 15. Between 300 and 399, 24. Between 400 and 499, 7. Between 500, 599, 4. Between 600 and 699, 1. And between 700 and 799, 1. Status. What books I read from where? 23 of the books that I read were purchased this year. 11 books that I read this year were given to me for free this year. Those were those 11 books that I narrated, actually. 5 of them were from the library, and 39 of them were from my shelves that I already owned. So 49% of what I read came from my TBR shelves, which is pretty dadgum awesome if I do say so myself. I'm pretty proud of that. Pretty dang proud of that. That almost half of everything that I read was what I already owned rather than something that I acquired throughout the course of the year. Of the books that I read, it counts, if it was on your shelf, like you already owned it, then it counts it as free in this next stat here. So things that I read without spending any money were 59 books. 71% of what I read was free based on my spending for the year. 23 books, 28% of what I read was purchased. So that's pretty awesome that 70% of what I read I didn't pay for because I either received it for free or I read it off of my shelf. Pretty dang good. Format. Alright, 36% of what I read was hardback. 34% was paperback. So you can tell I'm a very in between those two kind of person. Only one was a mass market, and I can tell you that was A Christmas Carol. 4% were ebook, 9% audio, 14% PDF, which was my audiobook narration. 1% was a digital combo. So I read one book that I read both digitally and, or I read both the audio and ebook. I like went back and forth between the two, so I put it as a digital combo. One graphic novel. What? That can't be right. Again, I think that some of these things are a little bit messed up. Length this one. How long were the books that I read? 56% were novels. 10% were novella, 5% anthologies, 4% short stories, 5% omnibus, 6% novelette, 8% graphic trade, 1% screenplay, 5% poetry. Age group, this will be interesting. Oh my gosh, I am pretty happy with this. Okay. 46% YA, 35% adult. I'm pretty okay with that. Middle grade only 6% though. I really want to bump that up. Kids 11%, and new adult, I didn't even know that I marked something as new adult. You know, I think I know which book it was though. Condition, 50 of the books that I read this year were new books. 8 were used books and 3 were from the library. 19 were digital. So a kind of interesting mixture there. Previous TBR, 36 of the books that I read this year were acquired this year. Or added to my TBR this year. 29 of the books that I read this year were acquired in a previous year. 15 of the books that I read this year were rereads. So it's kind of categorized. Like it's technically like previous year, but like also not. So it's like a different category. Location. This one's always fun. Where did I acquire my books this year? All right. Barnes & Noble, 27 books. 34% from Barnes & Noble. I'm not surprised. There's not really a lot of independent bookstores in this area that are like most of the independent bookstores that I can get access to are for kids books, so it's a struggle. They're either kids books or they're chains around here. There's Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and then there's like some used bookstores, Half Price Books and McKay's, but there's not really anything that is what do you call an independent bookstore. 5% from Audible. Not surprised because I didn't really read any audiobooks this year. 20% from Amazon. I'm not surprised, but I'm happy that it's less than Barnes & Noble, even though quarantine. So it's not like I was out at the bookstore that much, but I still read more from things that I acquired from Barnes & Noble. Now, acquisitions. 14% from publisher. That is audiobooks. Ratings. This will be fun. Okay, average rating. So I don't use half stars, but it includes half stars, but I don't use them in my rating because I can't put it on Goodreads, so I'll just choose my rounding for Goodreads and then I'll go with that for this. So we have 6 1-star books. Seriously, 6? That's awful. Sad. Sad day. Ugh. Alright, 4 2-star books. Not bad. 24 3-star books. Not bad. 20 4-star books. Not bad. And 26 5-star books. So most of my reading was 5 stars and then 3 and 4 stars. So that's pretty dang good. Total stars given was 296. My average stars, the average number of stars per book, or like the average star rating that I gave was a 3.7. So almost 4, which is pretty solid. Alright, acquisitions, let's go. 51% of what I acquired was categorized under purchase. However, a lot of those were still free. It was just like I bought it for $0. It was like on a giveaway, or like not a giveaway, but like a freebie like thing where it was like on sale for nothing. Does that make sense? I don't know why they do that. But anyway, 14% of the books that I acquired were free. I added a category as gift, or maybe it was already there, but I combined gifts and books that I got for free from the author or the publisher. I combined all of those into one category rather than having the category for gifts included. So it's a little bit bigger than it would be if we were separating out books that I got for Christmas. Let's see. 12% of the books that I acquired were from my Audible credits, and 22% were from my Audible membership, where we get membership benefits and we get certain books for having the subscription. So 22% were from that. Of the books that I acquired, 50% were purchased and 50% were free. So that's a pretty solid balance. Acquisitions per location. I acquired 35% of what I acquired was from Audible, which is not as high as I thought it was going to be, and I'm pretty freaking stoked about that. 26% was from Amazon. Again, quarantine. I'm going to let it slide this year because of the fact that we couldn't get to the store. So when I needed to like be able to read something for a specific purpose, I had to order it. I couldn't go and get it the same because A, it would be a 45-minute drive for me just to get a book. B, I probably couldn't go in. I would have to like move or like buy online, pick up in store. And I don't want to BOPUS for books. I want to go in the store if I'm going to buy it. So anyway, 11% from Half Price Books, which we have one about 30 minutes away from me in the opposite direction of Nashville. So I go there a lot to pick up certain things, especially like I'm trying to collect certain kinds of books, certain kinds of backlist books from there. So that's what I'll usually get when I'm there. And those will be showing up in videos here and there and all around. And then 6% were from the publisher, which the one that I acquired from the writer, I also included in that number. Take a look at acquisitions by publisher. 25% from Audible Studios, which does not surprise me. 13% from HarperCollins and 11% from Penguin. 8% indie, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty much all of the things for the stats. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and kind of getting a look at what I read and how I read this year. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to stay tuned. I have lots of exciting things planned coming up in the new year. I really do want to get consistent on this channel and grow my ability to continue to provide more and more content, so that is a big focus for me this year. And so make sure you're staying tuned and subscribed to my channel. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, whatever time it is for you. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you soon with another video. Peace out, Bear Scouts.
Look for the bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your stress. I mean it, bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Yeah, with just the bare necessities of life.